Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at Dragonfly Garden, which is a stamp set and a punch. We've used it a little bit, but I thought today I've been using it a lot with blends, but I thought today that we would do the Dragonfly with our watercolour pencils and with some of our Stampin' Right markers. So, and then we're going to build a lovely card. So we're going to take this one because, as I said, I've always liked this particular one with the darker part inside. And sorry, my little dog's just barking. I think the postman's on his way. Has to let me know that the postman's on their way. So I'm going to put this onto a block. Let's move the punch out of the way for the moment because we don't need that. And I'm going to use, let me find my ink, here we go. I'm using an ink that is, you can use StazOn, but you don't want to use a water-based ink because we are going to be using, in fact I'm going to do one down in this direction. And then I'm doing two because we're going to do a three-dimensional dragonfly as well, which I thought would be quite fun. And I'll show you how to very simply do a three-dimensional one. So I'll stamp it off first of all, which is absolutely lovely. I just need to get my scrub, which is it down over here? It's just over here. Excuse me leaning right the way across the camera, but I was thinking of the idea, and as normal I haven't prepared everything for it. I've just thought, yes, I want to try doing it with not just the blends. I think we tend to get into a habit of using things that we use all the time, and you know, blends are very popular and we seem to forget sometimes about our stamping, our pencils and our Stampin' Right markers. So I've just taken a selection. We have got let me have a look and see which is going to be the darkest. The darkest of this is a Coastal Cabana. And what's another dark one? We've got Balmy Blue, we've got Bermuda Bay, we've got Pacific Point, and we've got Night of Navy. Okay, so Night of Navy should be quite dark. So I'm going to do this part in the Night of Navy. And exactly the same as I've always done it, I'm doing the inside and the outside in one colour. And you can then use an aqua painter if you want to. I'm going to show you another way to get a really rather vibrant colour coming through. And I always do it this way. So I'm going to do both sides of them at the same time and then turn it round, only because I don't want to smudge it through if it hasn't completely dried, although it's pretty good on this. So as I say, use StazOn or use a an ink. If you use Memento, you'll find that because Memento is water-based, it will bleed through, and that's what we don't really want to happen. So I'm just taking this through on this one, and again, you don't have to be overly accurate on this. Make sure you keep within the lines of the butterfly, but inside it doesn't have to be overly accurate in there. And then we'll take this one in like that. Okay, so that was the Night of Navy. Now I'm going to use something paler. I'm going to Bermuda Bay, Pacific Coast, Coastal Cabana. Coastal Cabana's a nice colour, isn't it? I'm going to try some Coastal Cabana because that's quite a nice, and I'm just doing that sort of in the middle because I want these dragonflies to be quite vibrant, and most of the dragonflies that we see have these lovely sort of iridescent blue colours in there. So by mixing and matching several different blues together, it works really quite well. So that's the Coastal Cabana in on that side. And then I'm going to take, I think Balmy Blue is probably quite pale. I'm just going to stick a little bit of Balmy Blue in the centre of this one. Like that. And as I say, you can leave it exactly like that if you want to. You can use your aqua painter to just colour it in. But that gives you the dragonfly in those colours like that. Okay, now I'm going to take the Stamping Right markers. They come in all sorts of different colours, and I'm using, some of these are retired, but you can use any of the darker colours. So on this one is Island Indigo, which, as I say, is quite an old one, but they never what do you call it, dry out. They will last for, well, I don't know when this one retired, several years ago now, but it's a little bit dark for what I want, so I'm only going to do a little tiny bit of this in there, right up close to the wings and over the blue that we've already got down. So just a little bit on it, and then we do need to do just a little bit at the tip. So this is quite a small amount because it is quite a dark colour, but it will bring up the colour underneath quite well. So let's just do the tips of these ones. But you find that if you have pencils and the Stamping Right markers will actually blend the colour that's in underneath and make it quite bright. So that's that one. Now I want to have a slightly paler one, so let's have the Coastal Cabana, and again I'm using the wider tip on this, and I'm just going to bring that up in over the top like that on this one. And you can see, or hopefully you can see, that the colour underneath is blending in quite nicely. In fact, I might just take that all the way up on this one so that it blends through the colours from underneath. And you can see I'm stroking it really quite gently because I don't want it to be too dark, but just by stroking it through you will find that it blends the colours that you've put with the pencil underneath over the top. So it's like using an aqua painter or a water painter, but it adds all of those different colours coming through, and I hope you can sort of see that that's really bringing some beautiful colours in through on the wings, which I think is absolutely lovely. And it's a great way of, you can do it with all sorts of, whenever you're doing your colouring, if you just want that deeper sort of tonal colours coming through from underneath, literally just use them, and you can get them in sets of the colour families, and you can get a set with all of them in, which is quite an investment, but as I say, they do last forever. I've just sort of picked them up as I've gone along, and I'm just going to take just this centerpiece in on here of the body to just give that little bit of colour on there. Okay, so I hope you can see that you've got these really lovely colours coming through in all the different sort of shades. Now you can put on top of that, if you want to, you can take a bit of Wink of Stella, which very rarely shows at all on camera, but just to add that little bit of extra sparkle. And again, that will, because that's water based, that will just blend it all through as well. So just sort of move it through on each one, and you'll get those colours coming through, and it's really given quite a really nice iridescent colour. So I think that that's worked really well. I'm quite pleased with that. So just blending this through on here, and because, as I say, they're all water based, it just blends everything through. And then to clean your brush, you literally just, you find a little piece of scrap that I was working on the other day, you just clean it off like that, and then it's ready to go for the next time. So they're absolutely brilliant, and you can fill them up as well, so don't throw them away. Fill them up with water, fill them up with sparkle, whatever you want. I did a video quite a while ago showing you how to do that. So we're now going to punch these out. So I've given enough space because you will find that it will, you've got two dragonflies on here, so you'll find that one will go through. Now I've just worked out that that's, the other side is a little bit lower down, so just get it in the right place for the dragonfly and then punch it out. So that's one. You can keep those little pieces for doing other things with. And then we're going to go up on this one and again just line it up where you want it to go. In fact, I need to take just a little bit off the bottom of here. Now, what have I done with my scissors? That was a thing I should have got out beforehand, shouldn't I? Hold on a minute, I've got to go round the other side of my desk to just find my scissors. Here we go. I was doing some, these paper snips are so sharp. I was doing some sewing the other day, and just to cut my thread on the sewing machine and trim it up. They were absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we can just punch this one out. Again, just line it up. And punch it out. Okay, so those are our beautiful dragonflies. And what I want to do with them is, let's just put them over on there out of the way. I want to have these so that you've got the wings coming up on this side. Now, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can literally just take them up and put one on top of the other, so you have it coming up. You can trim them down. Now I'm just going to put one on top of the other because I just want that wing to come up. You can as well, if you're worried about the underside showing, I'm not having it up too much, but you can back to back them and then do another one. I don't want all of that bulk, so I'm literally just going to do down the body, and then it'll just keep the wings up. So on this one, we're just going to take, I can't remember whether this is the one that's empty or not. I've got one that's, oh no, there's a little bit still in here. Know me and my waste not, want not. I use my glue to its very last tiny little bits. So just literally down on the center of the body, and then you just need to line it up. And like everything, I put it down first but then I will take it up and just make sure that I've got everything where it should be. Okay, so you've then got, and then you can just lift those pieces up, and you've got this rather nice three-dimensional dragonfly coloured in those beautiful colours. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way so we don't have that all in there, and we'll start to create the card. So with this card I have chosen to do all sorts of different bits today. Just a standard card base. I've got Bumblebee, because I think that that's a lovely sort of spring coloured card base, and it's just like nice and shiny. Now this is a piece of paper from the art gallery, and you have on one side you've got all of the florals really bright, the other side you've got some lovely pale colours, so that's going to go in down there. So let's start putting, I'm not going to put it together yet because there's other stages. I've then cut a strip. Now this strip is 3/4 of an inch. It's literally a piece of the end when I cut my cards down, and that's going to go down in on the centre. However, I want to make it a little bit jazzier, so I've taken some of the polka dot ribbon, what's it called? Yes, polka dot twill, which is rather nice. It's white so that it picks up the white, and I'm literally just going to put a piece of this down right through on the centre. I'm not going to tie a bow because we're going to be doing too much on here to have a bow, but I'm just taking that off. So all I want to do is to stick it down on that other side. Now I'm going to grab some Stamp and Seal, because that's really good for sticking those sorts of things, and with a bit of luck, if I can get it to go round, we'll have a little bit down on there, and we'll have a little bit down on the other side. Like that, and then with a bit of luck, when I put the ribbon across, I can just put that in on here and hold it in, bring that right the way down fairly tight, because it's that twill. Oh, a little bit of the glue on there, don't want that on there, do I? So bring that down across there, and again, because it's the twill, you can stretch it just a little bit, and then just tuck the other side in on there. Okay, so that's going to go in down on the center, which will just add a little bit of interest. So I'm going to put all of this together today. So let's put this piece on here first. Oh, now before I do that, I was going to add a bit of something to this. Now, because we're doing the Dragonfly Garden, what I wanted to do was to take the daisies, the floral daisies, which is a nice long one, and we're going to just put it down there in black, and it'll all become clear in a minute. Let's just get my case out and get quite a long block for this one, because it's quite a long size. Or I could use this one actually, couldn't I? No, I'm going to use this one. Oh, my fingers aren't working. Get it out of its case. The nice thing is that we have a block for absolutely everything, and this long thin block is a really good one. So I'm going to put this down on here, so that comes out nicely. I'm going to use my black ink again, stamp this up, or ink this up nicely. And then we're going to put this down in on the side like this. I'm turning it this way because it's actually easier for me to hold the block, and we're just going to have it down on that side. And just press it down because it's onto pattern paper. And then we have our lovely pretty daisies coming through on there. Now I'm not going to colour those in because I don't want to colour it in. I want to keep it exactly as it is. But I just wanted to have that little bit of interest in on there. So clean my block out. And then that can go in on there. Okay, so that's then going to go in onto this piece. So we can then put that on. Just get my glue. It's quite nice using, and it's something to sort of remember, because when new products come out, I think we're all guilty of spending a lot of time, oh dear, on the, you could see there was a bit of a blobbing on that one, spending quite a lot of time just concentrating on the new products. Now I'm just going to hold on to that glue because I use it for another piece. And yes, new products are lovely, but we have such an arsenal of so many different stamp sets and things and papers, and we don't sort of think necessarily of mixing and matching. So this card really is a mix and a match of everything. Okay, now I'm going to have this piece down. So I've got some of this glue on my finger, which, as I've said, I try not to waste anything at all. So I'm just putting that down in on the center, and then I shall clean my finger off so that it's not sticky everywhere. And then just take this bit with a little bit of wet glue just down on there, a little bit of wet glue just down on that side so that it sticks nicely. And then we can take this piece, sure it's down in the center, and then I'm just going to put that in like that. And I've cut it because obviously it was the offcut from the side. It's exactly the same size as the card. So that gives just a little bit of extra interest in on the center. So we can then put this one in here, which is going to be onto our base. So let's put that in on here. Like that, make sure that I've got it the right way, always worth double checking. So that can go in like that. Okay, then because we have the daisies, I went back to a set that I haven't used for quite a long time, just taking the words off because I thought, so Daisy Lane has the lovely large daisy, small daisy. There's coordinating punches for both. You've got some nice words and things on there as well. And I've done a little daisy with the punch, done two of them, stuck one on top of the other, and that is then going to come down, and I'm going to have it on the opposite side like that. And that's going to go with dimensionals. Then we have got our dragonfly, which is again just beautiful with its wings standing up. So you've got two lots of sort of dimensional things. I might actually bring that one in a bit more, sort of halfway one side, half the other, which is going to be in, I'm going to put them up with dimensionals. And then I took from the coffee set, Coffee Tea and Connie Stewart's $1 million set, which is, let me find its name, Nothing's Better Than. So this set, which is Nothing's Better Than, lovely set, lots of sentiments, lots of dies and things. Coordinating die with it is Love You More Than. However, you don't have to use just the words as they are. I thought that I would turn this in because this week is the weeks before Valentine, and so I've cut out the whole of the words because they come out separately, and I've just put the love you because I thought we could have the love in the center of that one. We could then have the you coming down there, and we can then have the dragonfly sort of coming up from there, and three-dimensional as well. So I need some dimensionals, which I think I've got some out, but I might not. I might have to go into my box. So let's take my box out, and here we go. So I've got the dimensionals, and we're going to put I'm going to have this, I want to stick the love in the center of the flower. So again, I'm just going to use, you can use our sticky sheets if you want, you can use our fine tip glue pen, however you want to do it. I'm quite happy using the wet glue, because the nozzle, even though this one is literally just coming to its last, there's still always just a little bit left in here, so I should be able to get it and just put it up and round. Just started pouring with rain, hear it on my patio doors. So it's, I think we all need to start thinking about the summertime. So this is going to go just in on here like that, and then I can put the dimensional in on the back, and I'm going to use a large one, and to be quite honest, you don't need any more than that because I want to have the petals of this one sticking up, so it's a real sort of three-dimensional card. So we'll have this on here. Do I want the words that way, or do I want the words that way? I think I want them slightly that way, so we're going to put this one in just coming across, but not too much over the lovely printed bit. We can take these little pieces up, so as I say, you've got that real three-dimensional look. Then the U is literally just going to go down on top of there. So let's get that wet glue again. I'm going to put a little bit more on this time because it's going to be going over the ribbon or the tweel. And right, so I want that at the same sort of angle, so I'm turning it round. I quite like having things slightly offset, so that's going to come down like that on there, which is quite good. I might have to try and stick that down through there, that's better. And then the dragonfly, again, I'm putting that down with dimensionals, and I'm using the minis for this one because I want it in on the center. So we'll have a couple of them in together like that, and one up on the top, just on the head. I'm not worried about the tail too much because we've got 2 layers of it, so it's fairly sturdy, and it will then just give that really lovely. I'll have that one flying up that way in on the center, and then, as I say, we can pick our wings up like that. And then you've got, as I say, a very pretty card which has got love you on there, so you could send it as a Valentine's card or a card for somebody that that you like, but you've got this lovely dimension going on. You can put it into, as opposed to into an envelope, you can make a little, you know, box so that it doesn't fold flat, or as I say, just put on there, fluff up the wings when you and the petals when you receive it. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well and be kind. Bye bye.